Today, we celebrate a birthday. No, it's not my birthday. It is the birthday of my religious community, the Congregation of the Mission, the Vincentian Fathers and Brothers. You see, in the year 1617, St. Vincent de Paul was the chaplain to the family of Count Philip de Gondi and also the tutor to his children. He was on the de Gondi estate when he heard the confession of a dying peasant who later told Madame de Gondi that he would have been damned without Vincent's ministry. So Madame de Gondi urged Vincent to preach a sermon on general confession, and he did it on January 25th, 1617. And his sermon received such a wonderful response that other priests were called in to help hear the confessions of many people. In April 1625, Vincent did found the Congregation of the Mission, but he always recognized the day of his sermon on general confession, January 25th, 1617, as the birthday of the congregation. You know, it's a custom when someone has a birthday, you give them a gift. Today I am asking you good people to give a gift to the Congregation of the Mission and St. Vincent de Paul. And I did a lot of thinking. And I think that the best gift you can give him is to imitate him, to do what he did. But folks, in order for you to do what he did, you have to know what he was like. First of all, I can tell you, Vincent had a deep love for Jesus. And he expressed that love for Jesus by praying to him. A man tells this story. He lived in the suburbs and he had an early appointment, a business appointment in the city. So he left home very early to make sure he was there on time. And he got there before he realized he would be. He had a lot of time to waste. So what he did was he pulled over to the side of the road right next to a jogging path in order to rest a while. So he sat there, and he closed his eyes, and he started to go to sleep. And all of a sudden, someone went banging on his window. It was a jogger, and he yelled, "Hey, buddy, do you have the time?" Very bleary-eyed, he looked at his watch, and he told him that it was 8 o'clock. And then he nodded off to sleep again. No sooner had he started to go to sleep, but another jogger came along. He banged on the window and he said, "Hey, buddy, do you have the time?" Looking at his watch again, he said, 8:15. Now, he knew that at that rate, he would not be able to get much rest. So he wrote a note, and he stuck it on the window for the people to see. The note said, "I don't have the time." Again, he settled back, closed his eyes, and immediately another jogger came running along and began rapping on the window and yelled out, "Hey, mister, it's 8:30. You know what, folks? I really believe that Jesus knocked on the heart of St. Vincent de Paul and asked him, "Do you have the time? Do you have the time to pray?" And I believe that Vincent always said yes. Because you see, my friends, Jesus was a man of prayer. So if you good people would like to give a gift to Vincent and his community, please Always find time for prayer. Always find time to spend time with Jesus, to tell him how much you love him, how much you need him. Spend time with Jesus to tell him that he truly is the center of your life. Spend time also with our Blessed Mother. Okay, Vincent had a great love for Jesus, but I'm going to tell you he also had a great, deep love for other people, especially those who were in need. Here was an incident that happened in New York City in a suburb there many years ago. It was 3:20 in the morning. A commuter train was coming into Kew Gardens Station. A few people got off the train, including a young woman who walked through the parking lot to go to her car. Her name was Catherine Genovese. Now, she saw a man following her. She became very frightened. She ran to a police call box, but the man caught up with her before she was able to get there, and he attacked her with a knife. Well, she immediately started yelling out, and lights in the windows of a nearby apartment house started to go on, and people looked out their windows. Most simply just watched. A few did yell out something like, "Leave her alone." And for 30 minutes, Kitty Genovese cried out for help. Granted, many did not hear her, but those who did hear her would not help her. They didn't want to become involved. Soon, she stopped crying because she simply died. Hey, folks, over 300 years ago in Paris, France, there were other cries for help. They came from the poor, the sick, unwed mothers, the galley slaves, the needy. Most people ignored their cries. They didn't want to become involved. They just watched. One man did become involved, and that was Vincent de Paul. As we know, his name today is synonymous with charity. He was concerned about the material needs of others, the poor, those who were without food and clothing, a roof over their head. He was also concerned with the spiritually poor, poor who needed to repent and be converted. Vincent heard the cries of the needy. Would you like to give Vincent and the congregation of the mission a gift? You can do that by also being aware of the needs of others. Hey, there are many people out there who are crying for help. People who are hungry, homeless, people who need financial help. I'm thinking of people in nursing homes and in hospitals who need someone to visit them. I'm thinking also of people who have lost loved ones, who are in funeral homes today, bidding farewell to them. People who need a word of comfort, a word of encouragement, a word of gratitude. And I'm really going to stress this. Hey, folks, some of those needy people might even live in your home. And now, with regard to showing a love for others, I do leave you with a very important thought. A man tells this story. He says that he is a counselor who lends support to support groups for visually impaired adults. Now, many participants have a condition known as macular degeneration, which means it's very difficult for them to distinguish facial features. So he had just been assigned to a new group and was now introducing himself. And knowing that many in the group would not be able to see him well, he jokingly said, "Now, for those of you who cannot see me, I've been told that I look like a cross between Paul Newman and Robert Redford. And immediately a woman yelled out, "We're not that blind." Hey, folks, sometimes I wonder just how blind some people can be. Even though they may not have macular degeneration, even though they might be able to distinguish facial features, I think we can still consider them blind because they cannot see Jesus living in those other people, especially those who are in need. I can tell you Vincent de Paul was not blind. He saw Jesus in everyone, and that is why he had such a great love and concern for them, especially for the needy. You know, Vincent understood Jesus when Jesus said, "Whatsoever you do to or for other people, you do to or for me." In other words, Jesus identified himself with everyone, especially the poor, the needy, the thirsty, the homeless, the sorrowful. My friends, I'll have to tell you, if we cannot see Jesus in others, then we too are truly blind. So if you really want to give a gift to Vincent de Paul and in his congregation, see Jesus in other people, especially in the precious members of your family and in the needy. Let us continue our Mass. Please let all of us wish the congregation of the Mission in St. Vincent de Paul a very happy birthday. As I say, please do it by imitating Vincent, by showing great love for Jesus and others to the best of your ability. And please, could you do one thing more? Please pray for we Vincentians, brothers and sisters, that we might follow in the example of St. Vincent de Paul, that we might truly be men of prayer, that we might truly reach out to help those who are in need. May God bless each one of you here this morning for the sacrifices you made in coming here.